Hi everyone, my name is Erin Del Duca and I am the director of our program. I am excited to be here today with you to discuss a recent Supreme Court case that relates to religious expression in schools and how the findings and rulings will be applied to our program. Many of the policies and regulations that districts and our program put into place are driven by the rulings of court cases and educational laws. During our discussion today, I will provide a brief overview of Mahmood versus Taylor and then go over how our program will address the values of democracy, individual freedom, responsibility, and ethical behavior to ensure the educational success and well-being of our students and stakeholders. Finally, I will address how we will prioritize character education to promote and support human flourishing in our community, both inside and outside of our building. In the case of Mahmood versus Taylor, the Montgomery County Board of Education added a variety of LGBTQ+ inclusive texts into the curriculum that were approved for grades kindergarten to 5th grade that focus on the themes of sexuality and gender. Parents of students made initial requests for their students to be opted out of instruction when texts were being used, which was initially allowed by the Board of Education. However, the Board of Education revoked the option, stating it was causing disruptions to the classroom environment. A group of parents from various religious backgrounds filed a lawsuit against the Board of Education, arguing that the new policy violated their right to freely exercise their religion and to guide the religious upbringing of their children. Their request was denied, and the case was then brought to the U.S. Supreme Court. The ruling of the Supreme Court stated that parents have the right to direct their children's religious upbringing and that laws threatening those beliefs can violate that right. As a result, the Board of Education is required to give parents advance notice when any of the books or similar ones are being used, as well as allow families the option to opt out. The administration team and I are taking various action steps to apply the court's decision from Mahmood versus Taylor to our program, as sensitive topics can be addressed in the classroom. The action steps include providing the title materials that will be utilized in the classroom setting, providing families with the steps to request that their child be excused from instruction when a particular topic is being discussed in the classroom setting, implementing a checklist and guidelines for teachers to follow when choosing new materials, and implementing professional development related to religious expression and First Amendment rights. The action steps taken to apply the court's decision will promote the values of democracy, individual freedom, and responsibility. As a program, we will provide both students and families with a voice and involve them in the decision-making process and respect different cultures, viewpoints, and beliefs during this process. We will respect the beliefs of our students and their families and provide a balance in the classroom setting by teaching about a variety of cultures, religions, and perspectives so all students feel represented. Finally, we are placing responsibility on the teachers and district to select materials using guidelines that are outlined in the policy manual, as well as providing professional development opportunities for staff. As educators, we must follow our code of ethics, which helps drive our day-to-day decisions. It is our responsibility to model ethical behavior for those around us, to cultivate and build ethical behavior in others. As outlined by our code of ethics, we must respect and learn about the individual differences of our students, collaborate with stakeholders, and advocate for laws and policies that benefit our community, as well as uphold laws and policies as they relate to our profession. Finally, we will promote character education and human flourishing through our action steps. The Kenyon Center for Character Education Framework for Purposeful Cultures of Character show that character development has 3 components, which include individual learning, serving with character, and leading a community with character. We will promote character development and human flourishing by providing professional development to our staff, working with our stakeholders, including families so they have a voice regarding instructional materials, as well as opt-out options, and finally communicating with families on instructional materials and topics being discussed in the classroom setting. This will ensure that our students and stakeholders are able to access their education and live their lives to the fullest potential. I thank you for taking the time to join me today in learning about the new recent court case of Mahmood versus Taylor and how we will apply the court's rulings to our program. Thank you again, and I look forward to working closely with all of you this school year.